I'm David Goforth with Cooperative Extension Successful Gardener. Today I thought I'd review the basics of planting seeds. You can do this at home, even in an apartment. You can plant your own tomato seeds, let them get on a south-facing window and get a good jump on the season. The first thing I do is I get a little bit of potting media. I do recommend that you get a fairly quality potting media because this is important. It will do a couple things for you, as well as drain the water away and keep the seeds from getting too wet. It will suppress disease, which I think is important. Particularly peat moss will suppress some of the diseases we run into with seedlings. And so what I do is I just take a regular container like this, get it down a little bit below the lip where to hold the water in here, and take the seeds. Now the seeds are going to need four things basically. They need, temperature needs to be right, moisture needs to be right, there needs to be oxygen, which is no problem. The oxygen gets down there, you can't drown them, but if you don't drown them, they'll have plenty of oxygen. And some seeds will need light. Tomato seeds don't. They would do without light, but they'll need light once they get up. Take this seed packet here. These are actually some pepper seeds, and what I'll do is sprinkle them over the surface of this. Now if I had a large container, I might even make a few rows in here like this to keep them separated a little bit, but with just this amount here, it won't need it. I don't have about 20 seeds in here. And you can take these seeds, actually pepper seeds will last 2 or 3 years, and so if you get a packet of 25 and you don't want but 6 or 7 in your garden, that should last you for 3 years. The 25 seeds would. What I do is I get the seeds coming out here and then just gradually pop them out a little bit along and along. All right. Now I'm going to cover it with just a little bit more soil of the same potting media that I've been using there, like that, and I will water it. And there we go. I do like to put a tag on mine, and I'll take, this is a tag from last year, actually Venetian blind that I salvaged and cut where I can poke it in the soil here, and scratch last year's off and put this year's on there. And normally I'll start peppers around February the 15th. Okay. Like I said, these will need to be in pretty much full sun. They prefer full sun, but if you wind up with a couple hours of shade in the afternoon or something like that, that's not going to be a problem. You can expect these to pop up. The peppers, normal bell peppers, will pop up in about somewhere around 10 days normally, and then you would transplant them up, and I'll show you how to do that next. Here is some tomatoes that were planted earlier. They've got up to the point where they've got some true leaves in here. That's about the stage you want to transplant them. And what I'm going to do is prepare the pots. These are actually some salvaged pots here. This one is no longer any good. It will not hold water, so I'll discard that one. But set some pots in here and fill them up with media. Now, a lot of people will try to sterilize the pots or something like that, which is fine if you just want to do that, but this is about my 20th year of doing it without sterilizing them, so I begin to question whether it's worth doing it. When you have good clean potting media to begin with, I think that's the key there. And let me put a little bit of soil in here. Again, tomatoes, normally about February the 15th, we'll plant them, and then by March, this would be the equivalent of about March the 10th right here on these. They're ready to be potted up. Normally by about March 7th is what I'm looking for to get them potted up and go to the an area where you can keep them in full sun. At that point in time, looking towards getting them into the garden by around April the 15th is my target date. I'll normally go to April 15th, look at long range weather forecast, and see where that puts me. I've got these full here. Want to water it down now. A little bit. All right. The trick on getting these here up is to go underneath them and pull them apart like this. Do not grab the stem. You want to grab the top, but if you bruise the stem, you can lose the whole plant. Grabbing the top, sometimes you'll pull the cotyledon off, but if that happens, you've only lost a few days. If you break the plant, you've lost the entire plant. So separate this out. Make me a little bit of a hole and put that together, and I've got this planted here. Once you transplant these, if you'll continue them on till they're time to go out in the field, then you can take them from this container and put them into the field. Normally I'll use this on very small seeded stuff, things like eggplant, peppers, tomatoes will work very well like this. And I have done it with basil. I prefer to direct seed the basil right into this container though. I've done it with a number of other plants, flowers and things like that. You can do this, and normally I will do this so that I get the exact varieties that I want. Particularly some of these hard to find varieties, you have to order them through the catalogs. You won't be able to go to any place and buy that particular type of plant. The other thing I like is the fact I can have these ready exactly when I need them to go to the field with them. So you continue like this till you'd finished potting them up, and then these are in pretty good shape right here. You want to try to keep them standing up the best you can. If you water them again, they get laid down. I normally try to pick them back up to where they will stand up for me going into the first few days, so the hormones are going straight down the stem. They seem to work a lot better with that. The main thing you're looking for at this point in time, you're looking for slug damage. You start seeing them get eaten off, you can look for slugs. Normally don't find that in the house. Sometimes when you plant the seeds to begin with, you may get mice to crawl in there and get that when it's out in the greenhouse or something. If you don't have mice in your house, I think you're fine there. And slugs are very rare in people's houses, but I run into it in the greenhouse some. The disease problems we're looking at are dampening off, which can be Rhizoctonia or Pythiums, the two fungi that will give us the dampening off. But the fact that I've got the peat moss here suppresses that. The other key is to get full sun, and that will give them the energy to produce the compounds to resist the dampening off diseases. Beyond that, I very seldom have any problems taking these from the seed all the way through the transplant stage to the garden. The other trick that I will use by putting these into an area where I control the temperature a little bit, or the temperature goes down a little bit at night, that will stunt these things just a little bit and get them very stocky and ready to go into the garden and perform very well for me. So this is a lot of fun to do here early in the spring when not a whole lot else is going on in the garden. You get these little babies started and get them going. You water them every day. Water them in the morning, by the way. Don't let them stay wet overnight. Water them in the morning. And again, there's a limit on what you can do. You don't want to do squash or cucumbers this way. You would plant squash or cucumbers directly into the trays like this, so they would pop straight up and then take them into the garden. In fact, some people find it hard to do cucumbers, so you need to be real gentle with them when you're transplanting them. So anyway, I hope you try this, plant a few this year, have a little bit of fun here early in the season. If you have any questions about transplant, give me a call at the office. And until next time, plant and plant for a better world.